That's good then, huh? That's good. Hello. Alright, that's good then, huh? That's good then. Just bring this. I adjusted a couple of things just before. Midnight Charlie Man, Patrick, how are you doing? It's the 25th of February 2024. Slash. Last night at the Hordern Pavilion on the 24th at the Hordern Pavilion in Sydney. Slash. Now, a whole heap to say. And I've already felt, actually I've already, my cup of tea over here. I've already felt a lot of this in my head. A lot to say. Slash, last night, geez, where do I start? I'll start with all the positives. Bit rattly today. Slash, now, it's always good to see Slash. Why do I feel wobbly? Why do I feel wobbly? I don't know why I feel wobbly for. It's because I had to wait a while to film today. Always good to see Slash. Now, the last time that Slash was here, the Slash came out of Sydney for Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators was about 2019. Guns N' Roses came out here in 2022, November. I think it was November 26th. And okay, so last night, Hordern Pavilion. Was very excited. The Hordern Pavilion is a great venue for a gig. It holds about 5,000 people. And they used to have the Easter show there years ago. Just always good to see Slash. And he was wearing a white t-shirt but it had green on it, so like almost fluoro green. It went really well with everything. And always good to see Slash. Always good. Now, now the Hordern Pavilion, so the stage is there, and you've got the floor, but on the sides you've got the rafters on the side, you've got the seats on the side, and we'd already decided that when we got there, because Michelle had never been there before, Michelle had never been to the Hordern Pavilion before, and so I said, look, we can sit down, we're going to be able to sit down. So we got there, and we were so fortunate. We were so very fortunate because what happened was we sat on the very stage that's there, and the seats are there, and so we sat on the very side. And so the moment we sat down, I said no, because we can't see a thing. So we got up and we walked further up the aisle, and there was 2 seats available, and we were very, very fortunate. Thanks to the universe, we're very fortunate that we got those 2 seats. Perfect view. Now the thing is that stage, you got the floor, you got the seats, which are really good. But then there's a psychology to this, because at the back you've got all these seats at the back which face the front, and I think everyone thinks, oh, we're going to face the front. Yeah, but you're miles away. And when you're on the side, right there, just right there. Now, I did do something. I do something that I avoid doing in every concert. I filmed a little bit, the second half, no, the first half, I filmed and I took photos. I usually avoid doing this. Generation X. Still, I remember when we didn't have phones, when we didn't have when Sydney had not yet turned into a zombie nation, all the zombies walking around on their phones. So I filmed a little bit, not much, not much at all. I didn't want to be that guy in our section. It was not allocated seating, by the way, so it's competitive seating in our section. Geez, there are a bunch of zombies. Oh, the people behind us weren't, but all like, I said this to Michelle afterwards. You could have prodded them with a cattle stick, zapped them with a cattle stick, and they would have, alright, zombified out. Don't know if it's a nation of people who are drinking too much Pepsi and Coke or too much coffee. Oh, coffee you should make, yeah. But geez, move. They sit there like heavyweights. They're like, so, slash, and look, unfortunate. Ticket Deck, whoever's giving you this information, I got the event. I received an email earlier yesterday, and it told me the set times, and we were intending to get out there at 6 o'clock. We didn't at 6, and there was a dilemma whether we were going to park, we were going to take to the next event. We're going to take the car. It's going to be so much easier. I'll get into that later. It might be 2 videos. I'm not sure yet. So what happened was, at about 5 p.m. we were still here. We were still here, and it takes about 25 minutes to get there from here. Around about 25 minutes to get into the city, but 25 to 30 minutes to get to the Hordern Pavilion from here, which that way. Now, I was going to say, it said doors open at 7, and it said doors open at 6, roast tattoo on at 7, and so we were still on. I coerced Michelle into getting a bus. I just wanted to get a bus. I thought it would be better, and the ticket said get public transport if you can. It's preferable. So what I did was at 6:50 we were at Central Station. Still at Central Station. We arrived at Central Station at 6:50. Anyway, we got there at 7 o'clock. We got there at 7. Rose Tattoo were already Rose Tattoo. We got there. We got there and we saw 2 Rose Tattoo songs. They changed. They'd gone on earlier. They'd gone on much earlier. Rose Tattoo had actually gone on at about 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, because when I saw the set times, it said Slash goes on at 9 p.m. Slash goes on at 9 p.m. and I thought, isn't that a bit late for Slash to go on? Wouldn't he go on? Like, usually most international acts go on at 7:30, between 7:30 and 8. Okay, alright, yeah. Rose Tattoo went on at 6. The Struts went on at about 7:30. Struts were excellent. I'd never heard Struts before. Never heard them before. Really good. Struts were actually really good. And Slash would have went on at about 8. Slash went on at about 8:30. I suppose I'm a bit biased in a sense. Slash is my favourite guitarist. The latest album, Slash Volume 4, I have had trouble getting into it. I've given it a few goes since it's been released. Haven't given it a great deal of time. There's some not my favourite Slash solo album. I'm not greatly fond of Miles' vocal performance on it all the way through. I haven't given the album a lot of a go, and in fact, actually, when I saw that when GNR stopped, paused for a while, and that Slash was going to do his tour, I looked up the set list of what they were doing. And I was like, if this involves much of the new album, no, not interested in going. And then a while later, I'm like, wait a minute, it's Slash. Of course I want to see Slash. I don't care if they're doing most of the new songs. I don't care. I just want to see Slash. That was a good decision to make. It was a very good decision to make. I'm like, what? And Michelle, very, because Michelle has seen Guns N' Roses in November. Michelle's seen Guns N' Roses once now, and also I took Michelle to see to see Slash back in 2019. She loved it. So she's seen Slash twice and Guns N' Roses once, and the new album. sounds good live. It sounds very good live. It was a new album, sounds great live, and also it was a very long version of World on Fire, which was terrific. Starlight, I've got Starlight in my head today. Back to Cali. At least half of the new album was done. There isn't anything negative to say. I love watching Slash play. I could watch Slash play for hours, and it was just stimulating, therapeutic, really cool, really cool, fantastic. It's just Slash has a natural stage presence. Miles Kennedy is a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He's not the boisterous front. I like a boisterous front man. I like a front man with attitude. I like you know, the Axl, Steven Tyler, David Lee Roth. I like that. I think a front man should be that. I think a front man should be like that. Miles Kennedy, great voice, great set of pipes, nice guy. No, there's anything wrong with that. Todd Kearns. Miles Kennedy has a great voice. He's quite good with the audience. He doesn't have that attitude. Todd Kearns is fantastic. I love Todd Kearns. He gets the crowd going. And the drummer, which I think his name is Brent. Really good drummer. In fact, at one point I noticed that about 30 minutes in, the drums were very loud, and the drums were drowning out Miles Kennedy, and then they fixed it. I noticed about 2 songs later they'd balanced it out, because the drums were very loud, and Miles Kennedy could hear him, but only just, but they sorted it out. Look, the set list was, they started with River is Rising from the new album, and they did half the new album. It was half the new album, half of it, and I thought they might have done something from 5 o'clock somewhere, but they didn't. Now there was a big surprise, and this is where it really, I mean, look, rewind. Ronnie Simmons, Rose Tattoo. Ronnie Simmons is the new young blood of Rose Tattoo. Ronnie Simmons, and I happen to know Ronnie Simmons, friend of mine, and Ronnie Simmons is the new young blood of Rose Tattoo. And he does so well. It's fantastic. It does so well. It's terrific. Really good to see Ronnie up there. He's worked very hard for that. I'd probably not like hard work to him. It's just natural. It's just what he loves to do. Ronnie Simmons, Rose Tattoo. And so, look, it would have been nice. It would have been nice to. It would have been nice if there was a couple more GNR songs in there, but Slash and the Conspirators have such a lot. They've been going for more than 10 years now. I think maybe it could have been 15 years now. And the thing is, their catalogue is so extensive that they don't need to do any GNR songs. They have an extensive catalogue, but they usually do put a couple of GNR songs in there, or covers from other bands, right? And Todd Kearns, he gets up there, he says, "Now, do you guys mind if we play a song that we've never played before? We've never tried to do this before." He said, "We'll try not to fuck it up." And I was like, okay, all right. And everyone cheered them on, and he said, "So this is from 1991." I'm like, oh, it was Bad Apples. They did Bad Apples. They did GNR. Guns N' Roses have been on tour. Or almost never do Bad Apples. And I was so surprised. half the audience, at least half the audience didn't recognise it. Maybe 3/4 of the audience didn't recognise it. Where in our section where we were sitting, no, as it started, I was like, oh, bad apples, is it bad apples? And I was expecting the people who were in our direct vicinity to be like, oh, it's bad apples, bad apples. No one reacted. They were like this. I'll do that again. So, like, get that kettle stick out. I want to get that kettle prod out. I get the kettle prod. No one reacted. Really disappointing. I don't know where these people came from. Thinking. I don't know. Are they aware of the Use Your Illusion albums? They did not react at all. And I was like, oh, bad apples. And Michelle recognised it. And we really got into it, and everyone, people around, just simply weren't moving. Astonishingly, astonishingly amazing, absolutely amazing. What's that word? Stupendous? I don't know. Maybe not. People, what is your malfunction? And I was also observing the crowd a bit. Actually, I said, what's it? How much time? Like what am I going for? For all the time I've been ranting on for a while. I'm very good with things. All right. So, so I thought because we saw Slash last night, I thought I'll wear my hat today. I'll wear my hat. So I was observing the crowd a bit last night, looking at the crowd a bit, and I'm telling you, it wasn't like back in the day. The crowd were like this. And in my section, people were sitting, because I can't stand up for long periods of time. If a mini out of a concert I've got to stand up, I could probably do it. I'll probably handle it. I've got the endurance, but Michelle can't. And there was lady sitting next to us. She had a bad knee, because I had a very brief chat with her at one point. Very brief. She said, oh, I've got a very bad knee, and I need to sit down. I said, oh, I totally understand that. Totally. The people just over there, they're like this. They're like, I'm like, do you have a pulse? Do you have a pulse? So, they did, Bad Apples was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. The amount of people who just do not react or get into it like this. Man. What can I? What was I going to say? Wonderful guitar work from Slash, but that's a given. it's a given. I loved it. Felt terrific. I thought that on the last tour, Slash's solo went on for a bit longer. It could have been longer, and he did most of it during. He did it. They did, and they came on for an encore, which was Rocket Man. They did Rocket Man. And what was the other encore? They did Rocket Man, but there was World on Fire. During World on Fire, Slash did his solo during that. His solo during that. I always like a long solo from Slash. I go in this semi-trance state. I'm just sitting back, I'm enjoying it, I'm watching. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Was it? I said, because Miles Kennedy, he has a stage presence, but he's not a show-off guy. I like a show. I like a guy who's got a bit of oomph. And I said to Michelle, Miles Kennedy, she's like, you know, Pat, I just was looking at Slash the entire time. And true, yeah, I was looking at Slash, watching Slash. And Todd Kern stands out as well with this Slash. And in regard of Rose Tattoo, Ronnie Simmons, he's the one that stands out the most in Rose Tattoo. Oh, angry, of course. The other guys, good players, they're great players, but Ronnie Simmons, he's the new blood of Rose Tattoo. Look, it was a wonderful performance. Miles' voice was terrific. Miles' voice was terrific, as usually is. Todd Dammit Kearns is a fantastic singer. He's a great singer. He really kicks ass with his singing, and he sang Bad Apples. He did Bad Apples, and Slash. Yeah, yeah. There was just a few negatives that went with the night. How is it? What is it with Guns N' Roses and Slash bands that a lot of them are Bogans? They're all Bogans. How the fuck did that happen? Like, at Central Station, I held down a taxi, and he wouldn't stop because of the way I looked. Oh, look, he didn't, because I was wearing this T-shirt and these shorts. I had my blue bandana on. Actually, I had my blue bandana on. I thought, what am I going to wear? And I thought, I'll be simple. It's summer, because the day before last was 37 degrees, and yesterday was 22 degrees. I don't know what it is today. It's probably about 20 degrees today. Nice and cool day. Anyway, I thought I'm going to go summer basic. You know, just fairly low key, summer basic. And Michelle said, "You're going to wear your top hat?" I'm like, no, I just want to be basic. Anyway, at Central Station, hailed down a taxi, because there was the bus stopped to pick up a lot of fucking people, and I'm going to be reaching the 30-minute mark on there soon, aren't I? I've got to be very aware of that. Central Station, I hailed the taxi, but he didn't like the look of me, so he didn't stop. I actually sort of ran up to him. I'm like, "Hey, you," and he's like, and anyway, the bus turned up. The 339 to Clovelly turned up, and as we're about to walk down the bus, these two guys are walking toward me. He goes, "I know that T-shirt. I know that T-shirt." He said, "Do you ping?" I'm like, no. It turns out that pot or the green stuff, ping is a new term for it. So they're like, "I know." They went, "I know where you're going. I know where you're going with that T-shirt. Got any ping?" And I'm like, and their conversation on the bus was, it's like losing brain cells. Got any ping? So, and Michelle said to me, I said, I know. I just like to play dumb son. I just like to play. Every time someone asks me for pot or marijuana, I just purposely play naive. I'm like, no, I'm like, oh no, I don't, I really don't. One time I said to someone, I don't know what that is. I said, I don't know what it is. I like to play really dumb when someone asks me. I said, nothing against it at all. I just don't do it. And on their conversation on the bus was included that had the extended vocabulary of fuck. "Oh, you're gonna get fucked up tonight on the fucking bus, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're gonna get fucked up tonight. Oh, yeah." And it's like, wow, your vocabulary is extensive. Really extensive. It's, oh, yeah, because you got a phone call when he's on the bus, like, "Oh, yeah, we're getting fucked up tonight. And on the fucking bus, yeah." And so we got to the venue, and it was and sort of semi bikers and people of the like. Peaceful crowd, actually almost conservative crowd. The crowd was almost, they weren't going crazy or haywire, mainly because there's a lot of Generation X in there. There's a bit of Generation Y, and a few people who are older. There are a couple of baby boomers in there. And so there was a bit of an older crowd as well. It was a few younger folk, quite a few younger folk there. because the woman that was sitting next to me, she said, "Oh, my 16-year-old son, he's just over there in the crowd," and the crowd were very conservative. They didn't react or move much. And I think that bands would be like tough crowd, especially when you got most folk doing this, observing a few of them in the crowd. They're like, don't let the wind change, prepare for a wind change, or I was like, if you move, it might hurt you. Now, I'm not too sure if I need to, because I've got my glasses here. Let me have my glasses. Let me check the time, see how long I've been going for. No, we want you to go for longer, Pat. We want you to go for much longer. We want you to talk for... Oh, I'm going for 27 minutes. This cuts out at 30. So what I'm going to do is a smart thing. I'm going to stop this and press record again, because I've been going for 27 minutes. I'm a bit exhausted today, actually, a bit tired out. I want to stop this now and then press record again. Everyone loves to listen to me. Everyone loves to listen to me. My last point was, look, very conservative crowd who didn't move much. And the Struts were very good. The Struts thought they were fun, thought they were good. They were from England, an English band, British band from England, British band. Pick up your fucking rubbish. Bogans have I've purposely gone out of my way to not be referred to as a bogan. Gosh, oh my God, I don't want to be referred. I never ever want to be referred to as a bogan. Oh, no. What was I going to say? What is it? People who can't pick up their trash, pick up your fucking rubbish. The concert concluded. We coming down from our seats, and the dance floor area littered with garbage, with trash, and there was a few bogans. I didn't because I was just actually when I went up to the stage, most of the people had exited from the building and went up to the stage, and the banner, the Slash banner, was there. And it looked really, really good. So a few people taking photos. Michelle and myself, we took photos of the banner. And but as we were walking out, and by the way, they offered free water. Because what happened was we came into the facility. We entered the Hordern Pavilion, right? And Michelle brought her water bottle, and she had to check it into the cloakroom. Checked it into the cloakroom, and so what I did was I bought her a bottle. I didn't want to know how much I paid for it. They don't tell you how much things are. They just have this white thing after. So I don't want to know how much I paid for water, and I really don't. Not there, but they had free water on offer to the right, and I hadn't seen that. Anyway, we're walking out. We were exiting the venue. And this bottle's flying towards me, and I'm like, what? There's some dumb bogan. They're kicking bottles like a soccer ball. Like, my goodness. Like, it's like the level of dumb beasts. And, what is the problem? What is the malfunction? What is the problem of society and culture where in Sydney the younger generation just want to kick? They don't have the thought, they don't have the comprehension, the mindset, the mindfulness, thoughtfulness. Be a bit mindful and pick up your trash, pick up your rubbish, take your rubbish with you. It's not too difficult to carry. I was carrying out an empty water bottle in the cup on the water bottle, and Michelle, she was a bit tired. She had her handbag, and I carried the water bottle, and Is it so difficult for you to pick up your trash? Pick up your trash, put it in the bin outside. Yes, I know what your psychology is. I know what your philosophy. I know what your their bright philosophy. This is a slicing because the memory ran out. Now, this is the philosophy. This is the psychology. Oh, well, I've paid X amount of dollars for a ticket. I'll do whatever I want. I'll dump my rubbish on the ground because the cleaner, that's part of the cleaning fee. The cleaners, that's their job to pick it up. Pick up your rubbish, you dumb fucking bogan. Pick up your rubbish. Don't be a little bug. Don't be a dickhead. Don't be that guy. Don't be a dickhead. Because there was a few. I was busy processing the concert, and there was one particular guy, and he was just kicking the bottles like a soccer ball. He must have been about 25. It's to their parents' fault because they follow the bad example. Pick up your rubbish, you dickhead. Pick up your rubbish. Don't be a dickhead. People get very entitled to the concert. They think, well, I've paid X amount of money for my ticket. I'll do what I want. I'll dump my rubbish. It's clean. No. Pick up your rubbish, you dickhead. There we go. I just went upstairs, and because I ran out of memory before, of course, I just went upstairs. And uploaded to those two files. This is what I was wearing last night. Well, that T-shirt, this T-shirt, which I've had since 2005, original issue, and this bandana. And so, if you remember me from last night, the guy with this bandana, if you remember me, because I'm so special, of course, I'm special. I'm special. So yes, one thing about the Hordern Pavilion, it's so dark in there. It's so very, very dark in there. It's a dark atmosphere in there without those lights on. Whew. What I was going to say was people who don't even take any bother to pick up. When you're leaving, pick up your rubbish. Don't be a dickhead. Don't be a dickhead. Pick up your rubbish. Okay? Don't be a dickhead. Don't be that guy. Don't be that person. Pick your rubbish up. Alright. Now, to the Council of Waverley, to the Council of Sydney, what the fuck are you doing? Do you have any clue? Do you have any clue or idea of what you're what you're doing? I don't think you do, because when we exited the grounds of the Hordern Pavilion last evening, at about I think it was about 11:30 p.m. About that, what happened was there's this. You can look it up on Anzac Parade. Anzac Parade, you've got Driver Avenue, you've got Anzac Parade, right where the Hordern Pavilion is, and they got this black fucking fence, this black intrusive fence. And what happened was, I knew I can figure out my way I'm very good at figuring out my way. I'm very good at getting my bearings on where I am, on which I have no sense of north, south, east or west, but I can figure my way. We get to the point, the light rail is just up there, it's just up there, right? But everything's not laid out very clearly. You've got the tracks, you've got this weird kind of thin footpath, and you've got the light rail, you've got this bridge up ahead over here, and you've got these black fences. You've got a black fence here and a black fence there. Everywhere a black fence. For miles, for kilometres, right? And so Michelle said, which way do we go? I'm like, I don't know. Put some bloody signs up. No, not signs with blood on them. Put some signs up. Council, Sydney Council. It'll do you good. Waverley Council, Randwick Council. Put some signs up saying, go around this way to get to the light rail. Because it's very confusing. It's very confusing and it's very off-putting. You must put some signs up. Because what happened was, we walked all the way up the other way, but we got stuck, we got trapped, and that was we got stuck, we got trapped. That was very bad, and because there's just no signs anywhere, and then we got flustered, we got frustrated, and we were because that black fence stretches for about 10 kilometres on either side. We ended up walking down Cleveland Street, We ended up walking down Cleveland, missed a few buses because they wouldn't stop, and eventually got to City Road. And then we got there. I conceded, and it's something I never do. We got a taxi home because buses weren't stopping for us. It was a bit miserable. Got a taxi home, and the fare was reasonable. The taxi driver he was extremely good. He was very, very good. The taxi fare was quite reasonable actually, and Randwick Council, you've got a lot to answer for. Maybe because the setup for the light rail that you have outside the Hordern Pavilion is terrible. So the setup, okay, so the Randwick Council, even I got confused. It's a really, really terrible setup, and the Hordern Pavilion is actually a very, very easy place to get to. And I think what we're going to do next time is just take the car. We're just going to take our car and pay for parking, which we should have done in the first place. But I just thought, maybe public transport would be easier. What a fucking joke! At main events, at international concerts, public transport is always a joke, an absolute joke. And it would be far easier just to pay $10 to $15 for parking, and that's it. Rocket Man was excellent. It was amazing. And the thoughts is had a Bogans find being a bit mean, I suppose. Had a Bogans find their way out of Mount Druitt to the Hordern Pavilion to a gig. After getting off the bus with those two guys, we alighted from the bus. I thought I'd just been to a Cold Dizzle concert. I've been to Cold Dizzle concert today. God forbid. Slash at the Hordern Pavilion. Great venue. Really good venue. You always see a lot of semi-biker type dudes there at Guns N' Roses and Slash, and biker type dudes. Good amount of rock and roll people. A mixture of Generation X, Generation Y, and a few baby boomers. The audience seemed sedated for the most part. Even during Bad Apples, which I think it looked like, from my perspective and perception, that about a quarter of the crowd were recognising that it was Bad Apples. In fact, what happened was, I think, the majority of the crowd, even though they said this is from 1991, all they remembered from Todd Kern's sentence was, "This is a new song," and they had no idea it was from Use Your Illusion 1. Because you've got a population of people who are drinking a lot of Pepsi and Coke, and I always go into it, I say, "Oh, Bad Apples," and someone will say, when Todd Kern said, we've never done this before, we're doing it now, it's from 1991, they said, "Oh yeah, new song, no, Bad Apples from Use Your Illusion." Was it? Really? I think myself and Michelle were the only ones that acknowledged it. Because I'm telling you, people were sedate. It was a very sedate crowd. It was a very conservative crowd, and so. However, in saying that, I think that everyone appreciated it. Everyone did appreciate it. They're saying the crowd was a bit. Well, you know what happens? You get these guys. They're filled with a lot of testosterone, so they're like this. And they get a bit like that. So there was one guy down there. It was just an observation. There was one guy. He's like, they don't budge. They don't move. You could prod them with a kettle stick. You could prod them, be like, to the person who was to the giant man, to the guy who was sitting in front of me, sitting in front of me last night at the Hordern, next to your missus, the guy who's sitting in front of me. Thank you for not standing up. Thank you for sitting down the whole time. Because if you had stood up, I wouldn't have had a view. I would have had nothing. But you decided to sit there like a bit of a heavyweight. You sat down. You kept sitting the entire I think you got up once to go get some beer. Thanks for sitting down. It was really good. Because if you had stood up, I wouldn't have said anything. Yeah. The people over there to the right saw nothing. It was a peaceful atmosphere. At the end of the night, take your rubbish with you. Tough crowd, although they cheered, applauded, appreciated, but there was a couple of people on other people's shoulders, which was, it was always, I like to observe the crowd. I always like to observe the crowd. Fantastic to see Slash. They're playing in Brisbane tonight. They played in Adelaide on Friday. Brisbane tonight. Melbourne the following day. And people are sedate these days. I needed to sit down. I mean, I probably look. I appreciated that. I did appreciate overall that everyone in my section was actually. You know what? I think I would have if a few the people behind me, they were standing up behind us. I think they were like people in their 20s. And if a few, I suppose if a few, except for that guy who sat down, I'm glad that you sat, big guy, I'm glad you sat down the whole time. Otherwise you would have been blocking my view. But the people in our section, most of them were, all of them were just sitting down, being a bit. I think that if they had really got into it, if they had have gotten into it, that would have been fun. The woman down to the woman sitting over there thought she had good blonde hair. Could have prodded her, or get a cattle prod her. She would have went, she went, wake up, tough crowd. I think I've covered just about everything I wanted to cover. I have spoken about everything that I wanted to speak. Randwick Council, get your act together. Put some signs up saying, walk this way, otherwise you're going to be so frustrating. We walked down Cleveland, got there eventually. Night Rider went right past me because it was the wrong stop. I had to be 50 metres up that way. He didn't stop. We put our hand out. Alright, I wanted to speak about this today. I have done so far. Midnight Charlie Man, Patrick, and that has been my talked about Slash last night. Today's date is February 25th, 2024. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Yes.